Hello, hello. Welcome to Glorious Life on Wheels. Oh my goodness. The computer wouldn't let me in. It said that I had no right to access this account. So I don't know what happened. I guess somehow I switched to a different account I didn't even know I had and finally got back over to this one. But hey, everyone, how are you doing today? Who's in the house? Hey, Stella. Stella, afternoon from sunny Southern California. Yes, it's a beautiful, glorious day in Southern California today. I'm happy to say. Oh my goodness, Liddell says, hi, everyone, and happy Easter. Yes, happy Easter, everyone. The Lord Christ is risen. Hallelujah. Tomorrow is Easter, and the day that is the whole purpose of it, or it represents the whole purpose of it all. Hey, Nora, thank you. Yes, to those who celebrate, indeed. Thank you, thank you. Our CUDA 2001 is one of my great moderators, Nora. Hey, Randy Bailey, hello. Yes, love to you, Randy. Oh my goodness. Martha One's in the house. 3 generations. Hi, Iris. Who else is here? Beyond My Garden Gate. Everyone's saying hello, hello. Linda Stokes is in the house. Hi, Linda. Hey, Miss Net, another one of my great moderators. And Vaughn is on a roll, moderator, a member. Oh my goodness. The crew is here. The crew is here. Hi, Tina. Tina LaPlace is in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Vaughn says, hi, Bora, Miss Net, 3 generations, saying hello to everyone. Oh my goodness. Hey, Kathleen. Hello, hello. Just saying hello to everyone. Sylvie's here. Oh, I hope I'm not missing anyone. I'm just scrolling down trying to Bailey Randy says, Vaughn, please feel free to share any of your wisdom with us today. I love everything you teach us. I agree. And hit those thumbs up if you would. Hey, Margot. Hello, hello. Who else is here? Hi, Liz. Hello. Old time Globy. Oh my goodness. Lindy's in the house. Just listening today, driving. No problem. Glad you're able to tune in. I am going to share some things some changes that are coming up, at least for this month. You know, the title was about knowing when to quit and when you've had enough. And I think last time I mentioned and talked about how I had really just was burned out. And I can't tell you, do you know how when you're under a lot of stress based on a certain situation, and then you get out of that situation and you didn't know when you were in the situation just how much stress you were in until you got out of it and noticed the difference in how you felt? Well, I tell you, this last week I didn't do. The only thing I did was my Tuesday talk, which I did on Wednesday, and I didn't stress about it. You know it. And I was supposed to take a month off in March, and I didn't, because March turned out to be a very good month. And I thought, you know what, I don't want to lose my momentum. But as a result, I didn't get the break that I was planning on. Someone came up here and they have a lot of reflection in their window. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can't adjust this some so that reflection is not as strong. Sorry, everyone, but lighting is important and it does make a difference. Oh, well, that's not working. Well, it is what it is. And maybe I can change the angle. We'll see. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's see if I can't change this a little bit to, well, you're just going to have to see me in half, I guess. Let's see if I can do it this way. Will that work? No. I'm going to move it around. I'm going to move it around like this. That's better. Okay, yeah, I don't want to have all those shadows, and although that's a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. But anyhow, I decided after really not doing much of anything, actually no interviews, no, no reaching out much, I realized just how great I felt. And I decided that I'm basically going to take most of the month, if not all of the month of April off. I'll still do my lives because I love this is the lives on Saturday is really one of my highlights of my week, and I know many of yours too. So I'm going to do the lives on Saturday, but and I'm going to do my Tuesday talk, and I'll try and do it on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. But I'm going to just not worry about getting videos out this month, you know? I may do some interviews that I'll stock up or stack up for next month, but and I may if I come across something that I think is really interesting, but I'm not going to pressure myself. And I realize now, I don't know about how many of you have watched a channel, one of my favorite channels actually, Robin on Creativity RV, and she always takes a month off every year. Let me get this. I'm a little bit discombobulated here having to move. But she takes a month off, and I realize now why she does. Because, oh my gosh, I just can't tell you how much better I feel having done that. I'm at the library here. So, one of in this North County area, I like there's a library, a couple libraries that I really like, Encinitas and Carlsbad. I really like them. They're just have all kinds of the Encinitas one has an ocean view from the balcony. The Carlsbad one has a beautiful gazebo. So I often will drive up over here to do that, the lives. But anyhow, yeah, so I'm going to be taking some time off from posting videos, but we'll still be, as I said, doing lives on Saturday and my Tuesday talks. And speaking of Tuesday talks, let me see who else I haven't. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. Who else I haven't greeted, and then I'm going to share with you one of the things I'm going to be talking about. I'm doing a series on stress and how to do resets, how to, when you're overly stressed, how to reset your body. If you haven't seen it, go back and see the video that I did this past week that talked about a book that Dr. Aditi Nurkar, I can never say her name, wrote. She's a Harvard specialist on stress, and she talks about some things that you can do to reset the stress. You know, when you're and I shared this in my Tuesday talk, but when you're under a lot of stress, say a perceived threat, your body responds by, your heart starts racing and things start happening, and your adrenaline and everything. But after the perceived threat is over, you go back to your equilibrium, your normal resting state. Well, she's talking about how since COVID, many, if not most of us, have not really gone, sorry, the light, have not gone back to our resting state. And as a result, we're operating at a higher level of stress. We don't necessarily know it. And she talks about how there are ways to reset that and things, in addition to the resets, things that you need to have or make available. So that's what I'm going to be starting to talk about more. But I wanted to show you this book that I'm basing this on and some of my other research. And it's called The 5 Resets. And it's called Rewire Your Brain and Body for Less Stress and More Resilience. There is a workbook that goes with it, but apparently it's out of print. I haven't been able to find it. But if I can find it, I'll share that workbook with you and share with you what some of the things are that you could do to help work on it. But anyhow, that's where we're going on Tuesdays. And, today I wanted to talk about some things like I'm sorry, I keep moving, but I hate that I've got all this light is wrong. But when you're in a minivan, you've got to lift it and move and everything else to get things right. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is, have you had situations in your life where you knew, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's living in a certain city, whether it's whatever you're doing, that you've known for quite a while that it wasn't the best thing for you? You've known that it actually was harmful to you, but you kept up and kept on doing it, or kept staying in the relationship or in that city or in that job. And finally, you said enough and you left. It might have been not been the best circumstances or time for you to leave, but you just said, you know what, I've had enough, and I just am going to deal with the consequences of leaving, but the consequences are better than staying. I'm wondering if any of you here have experienced that, and what was your breaking point? What was the point that made you say, enough, I'm out of here, or I'm out of this relationship, I'm out of this job? What was it that finally catapulted you into making that decision? I'd love to hear from some of you. Anyhow, let me say, I hope I haven't missed anyone. um who else is here? Oh, hey, Bobby. Hello, how are you? From Florida. Thank you, Bobby. Bonnie, hello, Bonnie. Just tuned in. Happy Easter. Robin, watching from South Dakota. Oh my goodness. H. Stone, hello. I think I've said hello to most people. Carrie Rose, hey, Carrie. And Robin, hi, Robin. Your first time in the chat. Well, welcome, Robin. We love to welcome newbies to our Globy family. Oh my goodness. We're just expanding and growing, and I love that. Hey, cargo trailer Eric. Hi. Good to see you. I'm camp hosting and ready to hit the road. Need solitude. I bet you have a lot of people making a lot of demands on you if you're camp hosting. Oh my goodness. I won't ask where, but is it in the mountains, in the desert? What kind of place is it in? Uh, um, let's see. Hey, CW Style 3. Hello. Jackie, hey, you're in sunny. It was raining last time you joined us, Jackie. So now it's sunny in Oregon. Glad to hear that. Hey, D. Cooper. Hello. My moderators are saying hello to everyone. Vaughn said, we're in April now, confused. Did I say something about March? Yeah, I was going to take off in March, and now I'm taking off the rest of April, as far as pretty much, unless something just comes up I really want to do. But I'm not going to worry about doing videos the rest of April. I'm taking the break in April that I had said that I was going to take in March. I hope that clarifies it. Nora says, just roll with it, Vaughn. All right. Well, if that's the confusion is based on what I said, I was going to take a break in March. I didn't. And I decided, after taking some time off the last week or so, that it really showed me how much I need even a longer break. So I'm going to be taking off the rest of April, except for lives and Tuesday talks. I'm not going to worry about videos. If I get one up, I do. If I don't, I don't. But I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to save them until next month. Hopefully that clarifies everything. Hey, Rosani Designs. Hello. Who else? Anyone else? Hey, Anthony Tripp. Hello. Susan Swanson has a channel featuring low price homes if anyone's interested. She doesn't do sales. She points out the flaws, but it might be worth viewing. I'll have to check it out. Thank you, Anthony, for that information. I'm really looking for strictly land. I mean, if it has a little shack or something on it, but I don't want to pay a lot of money for a house when I really want land. But someone else on here might be interested. And sometimes, you get something that has maybe a beat up mobile home or something, and they're really not charging you for that. They're just charging you for the land. So I'll check at Susan Swanson. I'll have to remember that. Hey, Carol P. Sylvie says, I'm so glad you will still do Saturday lives. Yes, yes. I hope I don't sound too selfish. It's great that you're taking it easy. Thank you. Yeah, I am going to do the lives because I know a lot of people look forward to it, and some people, this is even people who don't come on and talk a lot, this is really their main socialization for the week. So I am going to do the Saturday lives. Randy is saying hello to everyone. So kind to me here and everywhere. Oh, Randy, how could we not be kind to you? You're such a wonderful person. How could we not? Emma, hey, Emma says, hi, Carol and all. Just came on. Good to take breaks, self-care. Yep, absolutely. Yes, I've been under a great deal of stress for a number of reasons lately and just need to engage in some self-care. Hey, Mark H, hello, hello. But I'm wondering, hey, Lucretia, how are you? Oh, my goodness. Carrie Joe saying hello to everyone. Happy Easter. Three Generations says, Randy, it's my pleasure to converse with a true gentleman. Thank you as well, Mr. Bailey. Yes, Randy is a true gentleman. Vaughn said, Randy, did you know that wherever you go, there you are? Yeah, that's true. People sometimes trying to run away from situations when what is causing them the biggest problem is themselves, and they're just taking themselves along with them. So true, Vaughn. Hey, Dragon. I should have my glasses on, but I don't. Hey, Dragons. It looks like Dragons Day Films. Like I said, don't have my glasses on. I hope I got that right, but hello. Mark said he thought having property was a crime. Oh my goodness. Hey, Donald's in the house, my brother, not from another mother, by the same mother. Okay, hey, Donald. Oh my goodness. Yes, Lucretia, stress equals illness. It really does. And I've been on some really, really stressful jobs. I mean, one in particular I could think of that had a boss who used to go through, he would just go on a rampage every once in a while. And it was a manufacturing plant, and I was a supervisor there, a shop's foreman. And he would come through just screaming bloody murder to the top of it and yelling and even sometimes throwing things. Finally, the corporate office got rid of him, but he was there and terrorized a lot of people for a long time. And after he'd come through, I'd have to go and talk to my people and kind of calm them down. And, I remember one time going in, I said, you know what, you're not helping production here. You're in fact harming production because everyone is so upset after you walk out that it takes a while to get them back on task, and you're losing production here. He goes, well, you got to shake them up every once in a while, shake them up. And I thought, the only thing shooken up is your brain, you idiot. But yeah, I've had bosses like that. Oh my gosh. Anthony says, Ben's Camper is a channel out of Western, that Pennsylvania, that features quality used and renovated trailers. Oh, interesting. But I'm going to try anything. I had a friend, Diane, and her son was going to give me a trailer, and everything in it worked, but I didn't have anywhere to put it. And I was like, we were going to go, and it just needed some sprucing up. But, the stove worked, the air, the everything, the shower, everything. But I didn't have anywhere to put it, and he needed to get rid of it because he didn't want to keep paying the storage fee. So that was, I thought about it later, and I thought, boy, I could have contacted someone I knew who had some property and asked them to put it on that, but I didn't think of it at the time. Oh, well, hey, what can you do? Let's see, who else? I'm trying to see. Rise Balloon Designs. Hello. High blood pressure, which I never had before. Oh my, that's not good. Not good. Is it what you're eating? Is it weight? Is it stress from people or situations? Yeah, but stress will raise your blood pressure. I've had some stress yesterday, And I tell you, I've had a migraine headache all day today. So I'm still dealing with it. I was telling someone that as soon as this live's over, I'm going to go get some Tylenol because I couldn't find any. So I'm going to go see if I can't get some. But yeah, high blood pressure can be very easily from stress. Anthony says too many jobs. Oh, to say, I think they all need that. They all need that way. Oh, wow. Wow, Anthony. Um, Nancy 3X says, I recently quit my job and it was because time became a more valuable commodity than the money. You know, we need money to survive. We need money to live. There's no question about it. But we can get more money, but we can't get more time. Once our time on this earth is gone, it's gone. But we can get more money. So I think as we get older, we find that our time is so much more precious to us. And especially I'm at 72, I have so many more years behind me than I have in front of me. And it is every day, it seems like time is precious and I don't want to waste it being stressed out or even spending it with people who don't add any value. And I don't mean value in terms of monetary or they can help me on my channel. I mean just value in terms of just helping my spirit to soar and to rise and to be an encouragement. I just don't, I did a video a while back about being, you know, not being around toxic people and kind of clearing them out of your life. Um, I'm looking to see who else. CW Styles saying hi. H. Stone says, sure, Carol, 25 years in medical field. After the Navy, I was ready for a break. I bet. Oh my goodness. Sylvie says, I quit my marriage when I realized what it was doing to my children. Wow. Wow. You know, a lot of people, and I don't know, and I'm not saying you were in this situation, Sylvie, but a lot of people who are in, whether it's verbally or physically abusive relationships, realize the harm that it's causing their children. And they don't leave for themselves. But when they see the damage it's doing to their children, and it's not always women who are the victims, it's some men too, but it's more often women. But the women will usually, the thing that will prompt a woman to leave is when she sees her children are being hurt. I've always thought that was interesting. Wouldn't leave for herself, but I guess, that's how we've been conditioned in this country. I'll never forget when I was in law enforcement, I had a case and it was a young woman who had, and I have to use the term, it's a silly term, but I have to use it here on YouTube. She was unalived and she was unalived by her boyfriend. And, the dad and I, in doing my investigation, I talked to the boyfriend. I talked to the attorneys, his attorney, the prosecution. I talked to the parents. Since you can't talk to the victim since she's no longer here, I talked to the parents and collateral witnesses are people who just want to make statements. And I'll never forget one of the things that the dad said. The dad said to me, "This is my fault." And I was like, well, how could this be your fault? And he said, because I was very abusive to her mother. That's what she grew up thinking. And that's what she thought was normal. And that's who she picked. And I thought, wow. The mother did get out, but it had all already made a tremendous impact on the daughter. And the dad, I didn't know what to say to him. All I could say was, well, you didn't do this act. He did, and he's responsible. And the thing that was so sad about this case, well, he unalived her and then put her underneath one of the beds, like not under the mattress, but under the frame. And that's where her parents found her. And they had a little baby. And I remember the mom telling me, two things the mom told me. One, she said, we couldn't even focus on what we found our daughter. All we could think was, maybe the baby's alive, maybe the baby's alive, maybe the baby's alive. And he had driven over a cliff, and the baby was thrown and passed, but he survived. Do you believe that? That son of a gun survived. And I remember in taking the mom's victim witness statement, because as parents, they were victims, she said, my life, I'm trying to think how exactly she said it. She said, every day I wake up, I'm in more pain than I was the day before. And because they were divorced, the mom and dad, so I interviewed them separately, but the way they processed it, and when she said, every day, like Monday I wake up, I'm in more pain than I was on Sunday. Tuesday I wake up, I'm hurting more than I was Monday. And she said, that's what I have to look forward to. And I just, your heart just breaks when you hear these stories. But yeah, sometimes people leave situations too late, but it sounds like, Sylvie, you left, at the right time and when you knew that it was time. Vaughn says, my breaking point is when I get so stressed out that I start having medical problems. Now I put my foot down well before I get to that point. That's a wise way to operate, Vaughn. Anthony says, hi, all from Atlantic City. It's getting pretty crazy here. What specifically is it that is getting so crazy, Anthony? I'm kind of curious. Bonnie says, our globies are lightning bugs. A metal yellow, first red. Oh, my goodness. Emma says, I downsized to a co-op, but a few people were crazy noisy or did other crazy stuff, so had to upside to a house last summer. Preferred the co-op, being more broke now, but enough was enough. Yeah, sometimes it's a hard decision. Your mental health because of a bad situation, but then you think, okay, what's my mental health going to be if I'm struggling to pay my bills? And you're going back and forth between which is going to be, 6 of one, half of a dozen of the other, which is going to cause more stress. And sometimes that's a hard thing to figure out. I'm telling you. Randy says, sure, need a rewire. We do. None, she 3 times says, Sylvia, that takes a lot of courage. It does. I know this may sound weird to some people, but sometimes it's easier. I concluded from my job and dealing with a lot of people in bad circumstances, sometimes it's easier for a person to stay in a bad situation than to leave to get into a better situation. And I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm not saying it's better for them to do. I'm just saying it's easier for them. They know how to navigate the bad situation. They've developed coping mechanisms, so they know how to work around. Even though it's a horrible situation, they know how to kind of, shuck and jive, dodge and whatever. But the fear of the unknown is worse than the familiarity of the horrific. I know that sounds crazy, but that's sometimes how it is for some people. That staying where you know what to expect. I know it's going to be bad. I expect that. I know it's going to be bad, and I kind of know how to deal with it. Everyone's saying this other situation is going to be good, but I don't know that, and I don't know how to navigate that, and I don't know what that's going to be like, and that is more frightening to me than to just sit here. And so I do applaud you, Sylvie, for making that difficult and scary decision. Absolutely. Don, yeah, thanks. And thumbs up, everyone. Thumbs up. I'm pressing onward. Says, hi, Carol and everyone. I love watching you, but usually from the bushes. Well, glad you came out into the sidewalk and out of the bushes. Oh, great to have you here. Carrie Jo says, I didn't realize my part-time retirement job was so stressful until I finally quit it. it is amazing to me how we can be under so much stress. I mean, we realize that we're under, we kind of realize there's a little something going on, but it's like you're in a pot of boiling water. You're in an uncomfortable situation, but it's only when you get out of it that you feel like, oh my goodness, oh, I didn't realize it was that bad, because you have something to contrast it to. You leave something really bad, get into something that's even marginally better, and it just feels you're so relieved. I liken it to when I have the flu or a really bad cold, and that first day, that you start to feel better, and you're not, hacking, and your head's starting to clear, and you're getting some of your strength back. It's like you were waiting to go, oh. And I think that's what it must be like, leaving a really, really bad situation. It's like, that movie, Waiting to Exhale. You're just holding your breath, holding your breath. And when you get out, you can finally let it all out. Um, hey, Shilas, happy Easter to you. Liz says, I have very clear boundaries. I look at the energy. Is my energy positive, and if not, I have to leave. Wow, I am impressed, Liz, that you are able to do that so easily. That is something to strive for, I would say. Oh my goodness. Sylvie says, not really. It was fear that forced me to leave. Yeah, fear that your children will be harmed. I think that's the worst kind of fear, you know. Nora says, I'm pressing onward. Hey, I told you guys, I think it was last week or in one of my Tuesday talks, I'm letting go of perfection, and I'm instead holding on to progress. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be going in the right direction. And that's what I am focusing on. Miss Nets, greeting everyone. Margot says, I believe that one soul lets you know when enough is enough. Listen to your heart and your soul. I agree, Margot, that we deep down, we know when it is, but we have been so conditioned, especially women, I think, and maybe I feel this way because I'm a woman, so conditioned to discount our feelings and not pay enough attention to them, or convince ourselves, oh, we're just being silly, oh, we're just being foolish, oh no, that's not really going to happen, oh, I'm just overreacting, instead of listening to our gut and going with it. I cannot tell you, my mom used to say, follow your first mind. When you have an instinct to do something a certain way, and then you talk yourself out of it and do something else. I can't tell you how many times I have been disgusted with myself for doing that, and it turned out to be a catastrophe. Oh my goodness. Don says, what's going on, CW Style? Hold on, what did CW Style say? What is going on, CW Style? Don picked up on something, so I'm what is going on? Please let us know. Let's see. Sylvie says, it's amazing what you can overcome when you are afraid of something worse. Wow. That's true. That's like you got a cliff with a river below you, and you got maniacs coming after you behind you. It's like, okay, which do I choose? Well, this one's bad, but it doesn't look as bad as what's behind me, so I'm going over. that is so true, Sylvie. So true. Okay, H Stone, we'll see you in a few. Randy says, Mr. Don Miller, any advice on that Rewire? I'm gonna tell you, my brother Donald, he doesn't really get all jacked up, all bent out of shape. It takes a lot to get him going. Now, if he gets to that point, Katie bar the door, but it takes a lot. He just kind of, takes it in stride and can be real cool. I'm like, and everyone else is, and he's like, okay, let's just chill, I guess it's interesting how he's that way and I can be not that way sometimes. and we were raised in the same house with the same parents. Isn't that something? Uh, Nora is saying, Don, how's the missus? Yes, how is my sister in love, Donald? Hey, Kapitsuzu, Kapitsuzu or Kapitsuzu. I don't know which one. So I'll say both and I'll get one of them right. Hello, hello, how are you? Nora says, and the hot sauce? Not quite getting that, Nora. It went over my head. Sorry. Hey, Patty, glad you joined us. Hope everything's going good with the move still. Getting it, all under control. Hey, Doris, you do you. That's more important. Yeah, it's it's too hard to try and be someone else or live up to someone else's expectations. Just, you're right, Doris, just be you. That's the easiest way to be in life. Hey, Carlene, happy Easter to you too. Donald's saying hi to Martin. I didn't see her there. Carrie Joe says stress can make chronic pain worse. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stress can impact all parts of your body. Someone in a comment was telling me something about stress and how it did something. They were holding the stress in their hips or somewhere, I don't know, but it really caused them some physical pain. Absolutely, Carrie Joe, no question about that. Patty says, everyone, please pray hard for the intention selling this property. Oh, let's just say a prayer right now. Just, Lord, help Patty get this property sold. Let her get it sold at the right price, at the right time, with the right people. No problems with title insurance for the other people, with deposits. Just let it go through smoothly. I will say this, it seems like houses, if they're priced right, are going pretty fast right now, Patty. So if you've got it priced right, it will go. Hey, Graham's in the house. Says, good day from Ponto Falls. Oh, grandkids roundup, camping next to the river. Oh, what I wouldn't give right now to be camping next to a river. Oh, that just sounds divine. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I think I'll go to the beach. What day will I go? Maybe Tuesday. Maybe I'll do my Tuesday talk from the beach. I'm craving the beach. Now that you talked about the river, Grant, I am craving being at the beach. Hey, fat boy, great to see you too. Oh my goodness. Vaughn says high cortisol makes highly likely for disease. Yes. And even low cortisol, if it's for a long time. And what this person was saying, Dr. Aditi, I'm just saying her first name, in this, she was saying that I'm just going to read this real quick. And this is just some of what we're going to be going over the next few weeks. She says the first reset is get clear on what matters most. And that's kind of like Sylvie apparently did. You decide that your kids mattered most, keeping them safe and not having them impacted by a bad situation. So getting clear on what your top priorities are. Then she says, find quiet in a noisy world. Now, that's not always easy to do. Sync your brain and your body. I haven't gotten to that part of the book yet. Come up for air and bring your best self forward. She also talks about on a show that I saw her on, she talked about 5 things that are really important, and I'm going to talk about some of those in a little detail over the next few weeks. So come join me on Tuesdays, and I'm going to be the one doing the talk, but yeah, come join on Tuesdays and hear what she says. And so I'm not only going to be referencing this book, I'm really doing a deep dive into stress, because I've really come to grips that I've been under a lot of stress and I need to do something to change that. So I know right now, a lot of people are under stress. So I want to bring this information out there. Donald said, about time, Graham. We missed you. How's everything going down under? Yeah, we did miss you, Graham. Miss Net says, I quit my job when my boss told us that we were required to work. What? We were required to work 20 hours overtime with no overtime pay. Well, I actually shouldn't say what, because I had a job that I had to work every other Saturday. I was on flat, pay, but still had to work every other Saturday after the 40 hours. So yeah. So I quit that job. I quit that job too. I don't blame you, Miss Net. I would have quit too. Sylvie says, laughing out loud, bad bosses. I know, I know. Great topic. I once worked for a civil engineer that threw tantrums. How do people get to be grown ups in their professional position and still throwing crazy tantrums? One day he threw a drawing and it cut my leg. Paper cut. I left that afternoon. Wow. Why do companies and HR departments put up with this kind of foolishness? Nora says, thanks, Shilas. Enjoy. I'm not celebrating, but hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, Nora. Rise Balloon Design says, stress from the job made me finally leave when high blood pressure popped up. Yeah, your body's telling you something. When your body starts talking to you, you better listen, or it's not going to be pretty. Let's see. Shilas is saying happy Easter. Donald says, what kind of mess is that, Miss Net? Work overtime and not get paid? Oh, heck no. I know. I believe it or not, I did it for a while, Donald. Hey, Joy B. Hello. Uh, with the promise of a huge raise at the end of a certain specified time period, I didn't get the raise because he got ticked off at me because, I said something. And so that I quit. Then this person, the nut job I was telling you guys about, he tried to deny me my social security. He tried to deny me unemployment because he said I quit. But we had a contract. I mean, fortunately, I had it in writing that he was going to be, And then when I told him, I said, listen, he has all of the supervisors working an extra Saturday or extra half day couple times a month at no extra pay. Plus, he violated and didn't hold to the agreement that he had made. Oh, that person left. Oh, good. They left. It's interesting how the reflection off their car was reflecting in here and making a shadow. But anyhow, they're gone. So look at how dirty my window is. I need to clean the window. But anyhow, so it went to a hearing, and the unemployment office said, hey, you know what? They had a written contract. He violated that contract. He did not honor the contract, and she had the right to quit. So I didn't have unemployment for that long because I got another job. But yeah. Joy B, is he in the house? Hello, Joy B. Everyone's saying hello. But Randy is saying, Miss Net, our soulmate here. Absolutely. 3 Generations says, hi, Poppy. Happy Easter to you, bride, and those lovely grands. Yes. Or hi, Pappy, rather. Hello. Donald says, a lot of men don't leave because they are too embarrassed to let someone know what's going on. That's interesting. I wonder if that's more a male phenomena, or I think a lot of women don't leave in terms in relationships because they're embarrassed to tell people. Because if you have a woman who's very, assertive, very successful, to then tell people, hey, but at home I'm getting treated like dirt, they don't want to ruin that image that they've cultivated. So sometimes, yeah. Oh, Graham says, busier than a one-armed butcher. Risoli's rolling competition here. Never fails to amaze me how much work little ones can be. Oh, yeah. We have 3 teenage girls here as well, just to test us. Yep. That's a teenager's and actually a young adult now. That's their mission in life. Their whole purpose for existing is to test you and to see how far they can go before you will crack. Oh, I could tell you some stories, but I'm not going to. But yes, Graham, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you got 3 teenage girls. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Randy says, I must slow down this year and not set so many obligations for myself. That's a good thing to do, Randy. That really is. Carrie Joe says, Sylvie, too bad the court didn't realize my kids shouldn't have had to live half their time with him either. Oh, yeah. I don't know what it is with these courts that whether it's a terrible mom, a terrible dad, they just want to continue that relationship even if it's toxic and damaging. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Sandy says, why is everyone saying unalive now? Serious question, not trying to start anything, but well, certain words, if you say on YouTube, they won't put ads on your videos, or they won't, the beginning or the end, and they won't share it out with a large audience. So we try to be a little bit cautious so that that doesn't happen. And it's hard to know, when I know I had one video that they didn't recommend that at all, and I had used different words in there. So now I'm more careful when using those words. I mean, they weren't cuss words or bad words or anything, but they were words, that they have on some list. I don't know what the list. I wish they'd give us the list and we could just not say them, but that's why we say that, Sandy. Graham is saying hello. Regina E says, hey, Carol, so happy for the self-care. It's a must. Rest is resistance. Yes, thank you, Regina. So anyone else have a situation where you finally quit something or someone, and what was it that was the determining factor? Sylvie says, Carrie Joe, that is heartbreaking. I had custody because he was abusive to the kids. Oh, no. Oh, no. You know what? What goes around comes around. And I'm not wishing this on him, but he will come to the end, a bitter, lonely old man who has not planted any seeds to harvest at the end of his life. So, you don't wish that on someone, but karma and God have a way of seeing that justice is served ultimately. So just move on, Sylvie, having your best life, letting your kids have their best life, and having that person out of your life. Nora says, Sandy, I think if she says the word, the channel gets flagged. Not sure. Yeah, it's kind of sort of like that. Yeah, in a way. Hey, aging on your terms with Vicky. Hey, Vicky, I quit corporate America after I was laid off and they tried to hire me back. I had to tell colleagues from other companies to stop looking for jobs for me. I wasn't going to go back to that stress. It sounds like after you got laid off that you realized that was a blessing in disguise. Isn't that funny? How sometimes the thing that you think is going to ruin your life and make things so complicated and so terrible and yada, 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 turns out to be a gift that you just didn't recognize at the time. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. And getting laid off from that job, or not laid off, but quitting that job for him not following through on his commitment, got me to another job, which ended up when I got a really bad boss at the end. I had really great bosses all the way up to the end, then I got a terrible boss. But even that turned out good because it made me decide to go back to school and do some other things. So, yeah, good for you, Vicky. And aging on your own terms, absolutely. I think hopefully, when we're young, we try and live our lives so that we can age on our own terms. And it's so sad to me that so many seniors now, because of cost of living and other things, are not aging on their own terms. And that's truly tragic to me, you know. Donald says, Sylvia, I didn't see you earlier, so say it. Good evening. Hello. Um, uh, Coach Coach App 90 or Coach Up 94 says, my dad never spanked me and my sisters because he said he did not want us to get used to a man laying hands on us. It worked. Wow, that is very cool. But I think a dad spanking, you know, my dad only spanked me one time in my whole life. And actually, I deserved it. I deserved it, but only one time. But I think that is can set a good example. I think the best example, and I'll tell you something, my I hope she doesn't get angry with me for sharing this, but let me just make it more anonymous. Someone I know has a daughter who's a young adult, and they had a boyfriend, and I asked them, I said, well, because they'd broken up with him, I said, well, why did you break up with him? And she told me, we were at lunch, I'd taken her to lunch, and she said, he was just so controlling and this and that. And she said, you know what? I see how my poppy, she calls it Poppy. I see how my Poppy treats my mom. So I'm not going to settle for anything less. And I thought, oh. And her Poppy does treat her mom wonderfully, just amazing. And the mom treats the Poppy good. But she said, I've seen how a man is supposed to treat a woman. She said, and I'm not settling for anything less. And I thought, wow, from the mouth of babes. So I think ultimately the best example and the thing that really can be the most helpful is setting the example so that your daughters know what kind of men to pick and your sons know what kind of men to be. I remember hearing something once that someone was saying the most effective way to teach someone at a bank how to detect a counterfeit money is not trying to teach them, oh, this is what a counterfeit looks like. They said, no. Teach them what the real deal looks like. So when they see a counterfeit, they will recognize it because it's not the real deal. And I think that's the same whether it comes to, picking a man, picking a wife, picking a friend. Know what the real deal looks like so you won't fall for the counterfeit. You won't fall for the okey doke, as they say. Well, folks, oh my goodness, I am almost out of time. Yes, uh, oh goodness, I'm just going to say some mel, okay, some mel need. Jesus Christ is Lord. Absolutely, absolutely. It's sweet, says, happy, blessed Easter to you and your family and to you too. Hey, Sandy Cummings is saying thank you to Nora. Patty says, I never heard my parents argue. Of course they did and worked through their problems in almost 70 years of marriage. Wow. But we never heard them argue. Wow. Wow. Well, everyone's saying hello, hello. Hey, live coaching with Donna Flynn. Vaughn says, very sad that some people feel that staying in familiar is better than starting over. I tell you, change is scary. Change is very scary, and some people just would rather not deal with it. Sylvie says, Carol, you said it right there. Fear of the unknown is powerful. It is. It is, but I was blessed to be able to discern that things were going to get more dangerous for everyone from there. Wow. I'm glad God gave you that discernment. That is what I pray for, is discernment, because without that, you're really sunk. Hey, Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth Gardner. Hello, hello, hello. Well, folks, I am getting ready. Hey, Outdoor Dash Travels. Lisa, how are you? Elsa Ty, hello. Don says, we don't care if you are late. We're just glad you're here now. Outdoor Dash Travels. Amen, amen. Oh, yes, I do hope you're feeling better, Elsa. Hope you're feeling you're well. Marina says, hello, I recently found your channel and really enjoy it. Thank you, Marina. Thank you. Hey, Brenda Berner. All right, folks. Randy Bailey says, my cousin Steve tried to help a friend stuck in sand and was shot many. Oh my, miss him every day. Oh my gosh. You hear stories about this, people helping someone else, and um and it turns out the person that they helped was a very evil person. You know, I'm so sorry for your loss, Randy. You've had some major losses, Randy. I'm so sorry, but you're still here and you're still a caring, loving person. That says a lot for your character and who you are. Sandy says, I'm one of the background fellows as well, trying to break out of my introverted self. Well, good for you, Sandy. Good. You'll meet some nice people. You'll have to kiss a few frogs to get to a prince, but you'll meet some. And here there are only princes and princesses, no frogs. And Chloe live. And if they're frogs, we get rid of them real quick. So they're not even here long enough to make an impact. Hey, 63 clocks. Hello, hello. I hope so, Carrie Joe. After all, at 72, I hope I'm getting some of it finally. All right. I am going to get out of here. And hey, I've traveled the world. Hello. That's very cool. It's the devil you know. Yes, sometimes. Getting away from one situation doesn't mean the next will be better. It might be worse. Well, hopefully that won't be the case. If you've learned something from the situation that you're fleeing from, if you've learned the signs, the red flags, and you've learned to recognize the real deal from the counterfeit, hopefully next time you'll take it slow, learn and observe, take the time to observe, and any sign of red flag, you're out of there like white on rice, you're just gone. I hope, you know. All right. Well, folks, Graham says breaking news over here is that they opened up a pyramid and found a mummy covered in nuts and chocolate. They think he may be a pharaoh. Now, I like those candies, Graham. I like those. All right. I'm sorry. Sylvie says, Liz Barnes, yes, no is the most powerful word. It is. And one we used to. I got so upset with the situation that I got upset with the person who asked me to do something, and I said yes. I should have been upset with myself for saying yes when I should have said no. But sometimes we even misplace our anger when we do something dumb and say yes when we should have said no. So I had to come back around and apologize and say, hey, I could have just said no. Because that's what they said. Well, why don't you just say no? I was like, yeah, I should have. That's my fault. Randy says, coming here with my favorite lady and favorite friends help me catch my breath. I'm so happy to hear that, Randy. Hey, Sheila. Sylvie says, sounds like that movie, Thelma and Louise. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Uh, Sheila says, I was on with Lulu trying to get my information to go to the New Hampshire meet in June. Very upsetting. What was upsetting, Sheila? I'm hoping that you are doing better, Sheila. I really am. Donald says his wife is doing all right in the next room watching the boob tube. Oh, okay. All right. I am getting out of here. I know, yeah, it does cause inflammation, Sylvie. Stress does cause inflammation. Patty says, problem is this isn't a simple house. It's 20 acres. Wow. And California has so many regulations, endangered species zoning. Oh, okay. That explains a lot, Patty. Maybe someone who wants a animal rescue or something could. I know, Carrie Joe, beach. I am craving the beach right now, and it's only about 4 minutes away from where I am. So if I just go, I'm just going to maybe drive by there today and then schedule a day to just go. And even if I don't even get all the way in the waves, just walking and letting the water come up and lap over my feet, I can feel the stress just dropping down and ebbing out of me. I can just feel it. I hope, yeah, let me know what you think, Miss Net, if you read this. Let me know. But I'm going to be going through it and going through some other things that she talks about and other people and seeing about, just imparting some information. Donald says, when I get stressed, Sylvie, what I do is jump in the pool and go to the beach. The water is my happy place. Me too. Me too. Me and Donald grew up across the street from a swimming pool, and it was only open to the public in the summer. It was a high school pool, but we spent every single day of the summer that we were home, every single day in that pool, every day. Donald, weren't you a lifeguard? But I just loved. We would swim from the time we were little. We grew up across the street from that pool, and we swam every single day in the summer. We would go collect Coke bottles, to get, because I think it was 35 cents to get in. And but some days, if we helped the lifeguard, we got in for free. But yeah, 35 cents to get in and go run around, collect Coke bottles to get our 35 cents. I remember a couple times we tried mowing lawns. As I recall, that didn't work out too well. The Coke bottles were a better choice. We got the Coke bottles for that and Thrifty ice cream, which was like, it must have been 2 miles from our house, but we would get our 15 cents because that's how much the cones were. We'd get our 15 cents and we'd walk down to Thrifty's and then walk back eating our ice cream cones. Oh, what happened to the days that kids just did fun stuff? They weren't stuck in the house all day. Anyhow, I digress. All right. Yeah, Vaughn saying, oh my God, Patty, then you have the death tax to look forward to. Yeah. What time for the Tuesday talk? Well, I'm going to try and air them by 11. It's not live though, Carlene, so you can watch it anytime. I may occasionally do a live one. If I get enough requests, I may do a live one, but I'm trying to do it 11, no later than 12, because I don't want to run into Lindy's lives at 3:00. Because Lindy has her lives at 3:00 on Tuesdays. Talking about bad bosses, Donald says they throw tantrums because no one has whipped their A's yet. That's true. Thank you, Angela. Happy Resurrection Day. Oh my goodness. Hey, Ava Potterfield and friends. Hello. Okay. What was the name of that book again? It is called The 5 Resets. Rewire Your Brain and Body for Less Stress and More Resilience. And it's by Dr. Aditi Nururkar. I don't know how to say her name, but she's actually an MD out of Harvard expert. Hey, Finding Courage. Anywhere near Vero Beach, Florida? No. Anyone near? Oh, I don't know about anyone, if anyone's near there or not. If anyone's near Vero Beach, let Finding Courage know. All right. I keep saying I got to go. Hey, Dana White. Hello. How are you? I keep saying I've got to go, but I really do. I just hate missing. But I got to comment on this comment. I know you guys keep making great comments that I have to comment on. Sylvie says, yeah, I suddenly found out that all our friends were his friends. And even my mother berated me saying, you stuck it out this long. Oh my gosh. Don't you hate it when the people who really, really should have your back don't? Who should be in your corner 1000% don't? I had someone say to me once, well, when I left my marriage, you left after all this time. And another person was present at the time said, well, do you think they would have left a marriage of that long a duration, plus with the person who made the kind of money that the other person made, was able to help provide the kind of lifestyle? Do you think they would have just walked away from it for nothing, especially since there was no third party involved? Do you think they would have just walked away if there wasn't a pretty compelling reason? Yeah, Sylvie, yeah, and that's something, sometimes that's what happens. All of your friends become, you start getting together with all of his friends. So if there's a split, yeah. The other thing, I remember one time, I had someone who I thought was a really good friend. We had a business together once, and she was married to a very, very close friend of my ex. and someone we knew in common, she was giving a baby shower for her. And this is a woman who had married quite a bit late in life, when was having a baby quite late in life. And I got the baby shower invitation the day, the afternoon of the baby shower, when it was already in progress. So I knew they really didn't want me to go to the shower. They were just sending it out of a sense of obligation. So I knew right then, I need to cut this person off. But yeah, it is harmful, hurtful rather. It's not harmful because you get past it, but it's hurtful when you think people are your friends, and maybe for 20 or more years, and then you find out that they will just drop you like a hot potato. But I have so many more better friends now who are really my friends. So Sylvie, yeah, you will make better friends who are true friends, and not looking to take sides. They'll really be true friends. I did have a couple people who stayed friends, who were just like, heck, we're friends and we're going to remain friends. But yeah, that's one of the things that I think people are surprised by. But hey, again, they're not people that were meant. They're not true friends. Hey, Violet at Content Boutique. Hello. All right, folks, we gotta go. Hey, Jojo. Hello, hello. Um, Donald says, throw a tantrum with me, and I just may drag you down the street with a smile on my face. I gotta remember, I'm getting too old to do that. Yes, Donald, you are getting too old to do that. All right. Marianne, hello. All right. Yeah, who knows what that means, Sylvie. People, instead of using the other word, they use the word pow pow for, what, a pow pow. I mean, some of the words people use instead are just funny. I mean, they crack me up. you know uh yeah, that's true. Some people will get there, Donald, and want to know why they can't get in, and they'll have a running list for them. uh Reese says, when my then toddler son was brought back to me after his weekend visit with his sperm donor father without a, I'm not sure what that means, but I do know what a donor father is, that he's just there in name only. Oh, Janice is talking about had a problematic sister. Wow. Oh, without a car seat. Glad he arrived slowly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's probably, I didn't have to go through this since Jessica's adopted, but I think that would be one of the most difficult things if you have a partner who is not responsible, and you have to send your child over to be with them. That would be, you'd be on your knees praying all weekend, I would think. Yeah. All right. I am going to, I know I'm missing a lot of comments. Oh my goodness, I'm missing a lot of comments. So many, so many. I'm sorry, but I've got to get to the end. Hey, Spirit Wind View, you're the last comment, so I can read you. You all stay safe. Ryan Hall, you all is on live. That means tornadoes. Oh my goodness, God bless all of you. I hope no tornadoes. But folks, I love you. Anyone who's the first time in the house, we had a couple first timers, or even if you've been here before but you just haven't come out of the bushes, just put a 1 so we can just all acknowledge you. But you got to hurry, because I'm going to getting ready to get out of here. I know, very. I know, Randy. Oh my goodness. Let's just keep her here forever. I actually have a surprise for you. Probably, maybe in a week, someone is coming here visiting me, and I'm not going to tell you right now, but he's en route right now from Virginia. So I'm going to be, hopefully he'll be here during one of my lives, and we can tell you why he's here. He's bringing me a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise to me, but it'll be a surprise to you. But anyhow, okay, who's number one? We've got Marina. I'm sorry. Marina is in the house. Hello, Marina. Thank you. I'm glad you guys know how we do. Welcome, Marina, to the house. Violet at Content Boutique is a content creator. If you're a content creator, do put a C. And if you're one of my wonderful, fabulous moderators, please drop your link. Janice Tate. Hey, Janice, first time in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Nora's putting a number 8 for her. Speaking of Nora, go over and check out her store over on Etsy at Nora Keg. At Etsy, it's some of the most beautiful artwork, and Mother's Day is coming up. You can get a beautiful picture over there, an original painting by Nora. Outdoor Dash Travels is a content creator. Let's see, anyone else want to get a quick shout out? All right. Vaughn said I said 10. Yeah, there's Nora's store artworks by Nora Keg at .etsy.com. So go over and check that out. All right, and thank you for you people who are first time here and those who came out of the bushes. We're glad you did, and get out of those bushes and come on and join us. And we'd love to hear your comments and your input and your insights. Everyone has something to contribute. All right. Hey, Coy. Hello, hello. How are you? Oh my goodness. Okay. Love each and every one of you. And there's Miss Net. Thank you. Drop the thing for Violet at Content Boutique. Okay, very good. All right, dogs are the best friends is a content creator there. All right, and I know Lindy at Lindy's Awesome Van Adventure is a content creator. All right, folks, happy Easter. Have a blessed day, and I will see you next week and on Tuesday Talk, which I'm hoping will be on Tuesday this week. But anyhow, love you all, and I am getting out of here. It is now, oh my goodness, 4:20. All right, I will see you next week, folks. Have a great one.